This is actually episode 36. I'm bugging. This is not 35. I did 35 yesterday. I'll change that title in a moment. I will change that in the future. You know what I'm saying? By the time this is uploaded. Let me share this to Facebook right quick. Give me a second. My bad, I'm back. I'm back in the vicinity. Just getting off of work. Work was a beast. Work was busy today, you know? They made me work for mine, man. They were a little bit overzealous with what they gave me. I gotta start being more vocal. I've been here over a year now, so I pretty much know my speed, and I pretty much know all of the stops, and I know how long it takes. And when they just give me just an inordinate amount of stops, just looking at it on a piece of paper and just not really taking into account, sometimes they don't think, or sometimes, you know, they may be looking at it like I'm a person that's been there for 5 years or whatever, and they just, hey, just take this. It's like all right. It sound good. It looked like I'm gonna get back on, you know, on time, but I gotta be a little more vocal. Like, listen, I know my speed, I know my ability. I'm not gonna get back at the time that you would like me to get back. So, if you want that to happen, either we're gonna have to save a couple of those for tomorrow, or you're gonna have to redistribute some of these stops. But I mean, it's all good. At the end of the day, busy's good. It's a good problem when work is so busy and you have a delivery type job. No, I ain't delivering pizza or food and nothing like that. I'm delivering straight up chemicals, man. Oxygen, acetylene. Hey, what up, Roby? What's good, Patrick? I'm delivering oxygen. I'm delivering acetylene. You know, I'm delivering argon. I'm delivering liquid nitrogen, liquid oxygen. I'm delivering helium. I'm delivering argon. I'm delivering beer gas, which is nitrogen and carbon dioxide. You know, I'm doing good. I'm just got off of work. I'm a little tired, man. You know, LKH, what up? I'm delivering all these things. You know, different places have different standards, different docks that you have to back in. A lot of places that take carbon dioxide, like for the swimming pools, like YMCA, Boys Club, stuff like that. A lot of times the CO2 is in the basement with no elevator access. It's just stairs. And you got these 300-pound tall cylinders. And we have this thing, it's called a stair climber. And it helps you walk down the steps one at a time. Zzz, zzz. You still got to hold it and control it, but it reduces the speed of it going down the steps. You know what I'm saying? Because before those, and I wasn't there when they had this, but before these like stair climbers, we just had like this regular ass cart and you would boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? And it's real bad on your back, your shoulders. You could lose control of it. Them things are heavy, man. One false move and they could just pull you and just launch you over the steps. You know what I'm saying? So I had 2 of those stops. I had like 13 tanks. I had this dental office that I go to. They had 8 tanks, so that's 8 times going down and 8 times. I had to deliver 8 tanks, one at a time, down 20 steps. And then in all of their empty tanks, I had to bring them up one at a time. So that's 16 trips. So that took me over an hour to do. And then I had a boys club tank delivery where they had 5 tall tanks of CO2, but that's 20 steps down, 20 steps up, 5 times down, 5 times up. You know, so when I saw I had those 2 deliveries like off the back, you said you have no friends. LKH, the only friend you need is the friend that's inside your heart, man. That's all you need, essentially. It's all about being happy within yourself. You know what I'm saying? Focus on the happiness within. When you search for the happiness that is inside of you, and you truly feel that, it's magnetic. And you'll draw people to you, you know? And even if you can't see them in the physical, or you're not able to, like, listen, I'm talking to you guys online right now. You can have friends online, you know? I would say associates, associates. Because true friends are like people that you truly know, that you truly have experiences with in real life, or some type of, like, you call each other, you can see each other and stuff like that. Because a lot of people, they just loosely throw around the word friend. And a lot of times people just have nefarious intentions, and you'll think that they're your friend, and you might be sharing something about yourself, something personal, thinking that you can relate to them, and they may resent information that you're telling them, but you haven't had a falling out with them yet. But the moment that you do, they're going to use that information as a weapon, or they secretly resent you and they're pretending like they're your friend. So whatever precious jewels or whatever precious information that you give them, all they're doing is sullying your name behind your back. So you have to be leery with that word friend. That was my problem growing up, almost until relatively recently. And I'm 47. Is that sometimes I'm just friendly to a fault. Like I like being liked by people. I love being loved by people. And so one of my flaws, it's a strength, but it's actually a flaw too, is that I trust people quick. I trust people too fast. So I give them too much of myself too fast, because I'm willing to trust them. And that's, you know, this is just a world that you have to be careful in, where not everybody has an ideal mindset or non-nefarious intentions when they come into contact with individuals, you know? You just gotta be a little bit guarded. You gotta treat that word friendship like a precious jewel. Precious jewel is just not something that you would just randomly just give to anybody, and it has to be worked for and obtained, you know? They have to prove to you that they are worthy of having such a jewel of being called a friend. But yeah, so, you know, work was it was just busy. I just needed more time. If I had 2 more hours, I could have knocked everything out, but only got but so much time in a day, you know. We just come back tomorrow and we just do it again. That's it. Nobody got hurt. There was no incidents, no accidents. Just knocked it out, got through it. I mean, what I want to talk about today. Yesterday, I just spoke about how I almost got into the anxiety of everything that's going on politically in the world. We don't got to elaborate. Everybody knows what's going on in the world right now. And it gives way to anxiety, right? Anxiety it's an energy that's fueled by emotion. Energy, you know, it's an emotion fueled. No, this is my theory, right? Energy is constant. It can't be created nor destroyed. It's constant, and it's like water. You know what I'm saying? Flowing everywhere at all times. When something triggers your emotion, it is the equivalent of different rudders or different sails. Like, imagine the different emotion points in your body, whether it's sadness, anger, happiness, or whatever. No, that's not sails. Let's not say sails. Let's say different portals. And whichever portal opens up, like a rocket booster, that's going to point you in that direction. So you got the energy constantly flowing, and then something makes you afraid. So there's a portal in your body that opens up, and once that energy goes through it, you experience this thing called fear. You understand what I'm saying? And it pushes you in that certain direction. That rocket, that hole or whatever, that rocket boost is pushing you to this realm of fear. Now, I believe if something can trigger your emotions, whether it's fear, anger, hostility, passion, whatever, I believe you can transfer that and open up parts of your body, other portals or whatever, so that you can, what's the word I'm looking for? You can transmute that feeling into something else. Give you a prime example. I want to say 2022, I was just real frustrated. Just went through a breakup. Not a bad breakup, but between going through a breakup and I really like this chick, some other chick. It had nothing to do with my ex. But I was always giving me a hard time. You know what I'm saying? For years, on and off, since 2019. I really liked her, but I was frustrated over her. You know, just went through a breakup. You know, it was a good breakup, not a bad breakup, but between that. And, you know, just messing with chicks here and there, I just, things wasn't really working out relationship-wise or with ladies that the way I wanted it to. So it used to make me real sad. Like, damn, man, I was feeling all sad and depressed. Like, yo, I'm not trying to take advantage of nobody. Like, I really want to be sincere. You know, I was just boo-hoo crying, like, not crying literally, but maybe some nights I did. But just really feeling down on myself. And then I was like, something just clicked in my head. I was like, fuck that, man. I'm tired of this sad shit. I started getting mad at my sadness. And like I said, that sadness portal in my body was opening up and it was pushing me into that realm of sadness. So like, while my body was in tune with the energy that was flowing and this whack part of my body was opening up and then pushing me to a realm of sadness, I was like, yo, why don't I, now that I'm in tune and feeling all this energy flowing through me and I'm reveling in the sadness, why not switch it over and start being angry at it, being mad at myself, being more passionate. And that's how I transmuted the energy. You just like, I closed off that sad thing. Like I consciously told myself, like, listen, fuck that being, you know, man, I don't mean to curse because I'm trying not to curse, you know, when I do this podcast, but like, F that being sad stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? You talented, you funny, man, you be getting busy on stage, you know what I mean? Like, love who loves you. Don't worry about the chicks that don't love you, you know what I mean? And so what I did was, whenever I would feel sad, I would get pissed off at being sad and I would channel the anger. And I would use the anger to translate on stage, like, well, how I deliver jokes, you know, writing more, just being more aggressive. I don't know if that's what energy transmutation is, but the more I started thinking like that, the less sad I got. And I would say, me kind of thinking that way and doing that exercise over and over, by 2023, especially like around the summer, I just had a whole different mentality with women. Like I said, I came up with this dating rule, like you either adore me or ignore me. So my criteria was, if I was interested in a woman, if she did not show complete interest in me like the very first day, I just didn't even pay attention to it. You know what I mean? And to me, it just cut off all the unnecessary nonsense. Now, if I hook up with a chick, I hook up. That's one thing. But I'm talking about as far as actual relationships. It took the stress. I told myself I don't have to try to talk to any woman anymore. And then my homeboy was like, "Want to know how I know you're gay? You want to know how I know you're gay? Because you just said you don't have to talk to women anymore." For those that don't know, that's from the movie For Virgin? No. It's not This Is 40. It's Knocked Up. That's from the movie Knocked Up. Seth Rogen and Paul Rudd. But it was like a weight was. I was like, I don't have to try to talk to no women anymore. I don't have to convince any women anymore. Like my whole the anxiety of trying to holler at chicks, I transmuted it into calm and tranquility. On some, if somebody want me, they're gonna let it be known. And I just redirect, and I swear, man, summer 2023. Listen, I had some good times, man. One chick during the summer did kind of break my heart. She did. I thought I had me a dope one, but she used me. You know what I'm saying? She let me hit a couple times, and then she was done. And it was some of the best sex I've had in my life. But whatever, you know. But even though I went through that experience, and it was, it did hurt me a little bit. That I liked her too. I was able to shake it. Before, it would have been harder to shake it, but because I had that new philosophy and mindset, energy transmutation transfers sadness into anger and transfer the anger into passion. I was able to shake it off better. So I say that to say this. A lot of y'all watching the news, know what's going down. A lot of y'all is in fear. A lot of y'all is angry. A lot of y'all depressed and y'all sad. And this is good that you're feeling emotions. Because feeling emotions that push you to feel a certain reminds you that you are in tune with the energy that's going on. To me, that's what the emotions, the expression or the sensation of emotions that you are alive, you are in tune with what's going on. You are conscious of the energy field, right? But I think once you realize you're in tune and you're feeling all riled up and emotionally driven or whatever, try to key in and focus on something that's productive in your life or something that's going to make you feel good, regardless of what you're going through. Because the one thing emotions and moments have in common is they're all temporary, You're not going to be sad forever. You're not going to be happy forever. You're not going to be angry forever. But I feel like we should be more active participants and not being led by our emotions. When something that stirs us up, recognize it, and then say to yourself, how can I use this to benefit me, to benefit other people? What can I learn from this experience and situation, instead of just being reactive? Woe is me. How could you do this to me? I'm so sad. And I'm not trying to trivialize how anybody feels or anything like that, but I think a lot of times whenever we have emotional reactions to situations, sometimes we're just autonomous. We just kind of let it happen. We don't even consciously observe it or, logically break it down. We think the universe is something that is happening to us, as opposed to the universe is something that we are experiencing. I feel like any information that you get, anything that happens, you can use it to your benefit. But it's a matter of how do you choose to use it. That kid, all through high school, everybody would make fun of him because he was fat, he was obese. And he could have been depressed. He could have harmed himself. But you know what he did? He took that embarrassment and he turned it into anger. And he turned that anger into passion and focus. And he started working out. And he got in fantastic shape. When they was making fun of him and putting him down, he was really, really in tune with his emotions and feeling bad about it. You know what I mean? He was conscious of the energy field, his energy all around me. These portals are open up in my body that's making me feel sad. But you know what? I'm going to consciously, now that I'm aware of his energy, I'm going to consciously tell those portals, and it may sound like there's something mystical, but this is the only way I can describe something that can't really be described. But in your mind, you just imagine these portals, these sadness or depression portals closing, and then literally imagine you opening up other emotional portals that can benefit you better instead of just wallowing in your misery. What up, Haas? What up, Yura Yusa? I mean, we constantly dwell on negativity, willfully, all the time. Put ourselves in a certain state, a certain negative state. If we can do that, can't we? We should be able to do that with positivity too. There's always a flip side. There's duality in the universe, right? If something exists on the right a certain way, then the same exact thing should exist on the left. If you can constantly feed yourself negativity and sad news and just debased entertainment, you could do the opposite, and it makes you feel a certain way. You could do the opposite. So why not do it? Why not try it sometime? Don't let your emotions master you. Be a master of your emotions. Now, nobody's perfect. And we can't always guarantee how somebody's going to react in a situation. But you should at least be cognizant, conscious, and aware. You should have a game plan in your head. If you're trying to think from an elevated view, you should be like, listen, I don't know specifically how I'm going to react when certain things happen. But I want to be conscious and present in the moment whenever a situation is happening. You know, and try to do my best to make the best decision within that moment, beneficial to myself, my well-being, and others. You could at least have that in your head as opposed to, well, if something happened, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I would react to blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying you should say, I don't know how I would react. I'm not even saying, like some people say, if your boss slapped you in the face, what would you do? If somebody did something to your mom, I don't like entertaining those silly fantasies. When I hear those hypotheticals that put me in a situation, well, the obvious answer is you got to be aggressive. My answer is this. Because I don't like entertaining that violent world. I say, I would hope I'm just in the right state of mind to make the best decision during those circumstances. That's my answer to him. I'm not going to entertain the fantasy war talk. I don't do. I try not to do it. You know, if it's in the context of humor and the outcome is a laugh, that's different. But people be really putting themselves mentally in some harmful ass fantasy situations. For what? I remember years ago, I was in 8th grade. And I know I was arguing. I was talking to some chick, some fine, this Puerto Rican chick, big titties, big booty. Back in middle school, that was crazy, man. Something was in the milk, even back in 1993. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, but I'm just trying to paint a picture. So anyway, something was going on, was arguing. Oh, no, I remember what it was. Because at the time, I was like really, really into Jehovah's Witnesses. And I was just debating. And my stupid behind, I said something like, even if my mother needed a blood transfusion, I wouldn't even give my mother one. Because, you know, that's against the Bible. The Bible says you ain't supposed to take blood. Even though, like, to this present day, Jehovah's Witnesses have changed that stance. So a lot of people that could have gotten blood transfusions over the years because of an interpretation of the scriptures, which they no longer hold, are dead. But that's neither here nor there. So I was a 13-year-old kid thinking ridiculously. Anyway. But I said something like that, and I wasn't even talking to the chick. So the chick was like, you said something about my mom? You better not say something about my mom. I'm like, you're not even part of this company. What are you talking about? Don't be talking about my mom. You listen. And I was like, yo, I'm talking to him. I don't know how you got this conversation. I don't remember the specifics, but I know it was not. I didn't say nothing about my mother. I was literally talking about my own in that instance. And even after I said I wasn't talking about her mother, even when I went back to talk to my friend, whatever religious debate we was having, she still kept going. Yeah, because if he was talking about my mother, I would have been like, the moment that I said I wasn't talking about your mother, all that energy and passion that she was feeling, she should have transferred it to something else. But we was kids, so I get it. But it's like, you already had the proof in me. I wasn't. You already had the proof. Like, you thought you heard something. I showed that you heard it completely wrong. We weren't even thinking about you. I'm talking to my homeboy. So at that point, my bad. You know what I'm saying? That anger, it should have turned into compassion and sweetness. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, my bad. I apologize. You know, you're going to take me on a date. You know what I mean? Just something sweet. It could have. And she wanted to be on my first date, like a couple years after that. It was funny as hell. The first time I ever took a woman to the Olive Garden. I remember that. Plain as day in Manchester. 1996? Yeah. 96, 97. But whatever. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her. You know, she ain't going to ever watch this, but whatever. You know. This is for my own. I go back and watch these videos. I'm going to be old and watching this, and it's going to remind me of that story. So whatever. Yeah. But she could have transmuted it into something sweet and just be humble and show humility, because she was completely in the wrong, accusing me of saying something egregious towards her mother, and I didn't. You know? He said no politics or religion. Oh, no politics or religion. What I'm saying is, Fortnite, man, whenever we let this political stuff and what's going on television and religion or whatever, stress in general, whenever we allow it to make ourselves upset, and we definitely allow it if we watching negativity over and over again, just transmute it into something positive. That's all. Just start trying to consciously think about something. Oh, here it go. I feel the sadness. I feel the negativity coming. Nah, I'm about to do this instead. You gotta, another trick I play, you gotta see like whatever negative thought you have in your head, you gotta literally see it as like some type of demon inside your brain with armor, right? And then you combating it, you have to imagine it as some type of warrior. Whatever type of warrior, like whether you want it to be like a samurai, a ninja, a Navy SEAL, you know what I'm saying? A character from Street Fighter, whatever. You have to literally imagine these two things in your head. So me, let me think. I imagine, even though he's an evil character, but one of my favorite characters in Mortal Kombat was Baraka. So whenever I have these negative demons inside my brain, something feel like some monster, some big, ugly dragon-like monster of depression trying to make me feel sad, I'll imagine the good version of Baraka with those blade hands, and every time that negative dragon is inside my brain, inside my brain, trying to breach the castle and get at my emotions, I imagine that Baraka with his blades just cutting his arms off, like, you ain't getting in here. You're not coming in here. No, you're not coming in here. You know what I'm saying? I will vanquish you because I will not allow your negative dragon ass to get inside this castle of my host's emotions. No. So sometimes you got to play mental tricks with yourself like that, you know? And that works for anything, whether it's sadness, depression. Always see it as even anger. And that's the hard one, rage. That's a hard one, because sometimes you need the anger in order to get stuff done rather. But you can change it to control anger. Like, imagine you really, really pissed off, somebody did something bad to you. So now you got this brooding, incredible Hawk-like character inside your brain. And he just wanna bust through that emotional castle real quick and just tear stuff up to where the outcome is, you don't know, you might kill somebody on accident, you might get killed, you might hurt yourself, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we gotta protect the bag, we gotta protect the castle. Now, you need that incredible Hulk to do what he gotta do, but it has to be controlled rage. So instead of, I don't need the Baraka, because I don't want to stop him from going into that castle and making it do what it do, but maybe my logic kicks in, and I imagine him being like Professor X or the scientist, the Morgan Freeman scientist from Iron Man. I say, Incredible Hulk, I know you want to get there. We can't stop you from getting here. But here are these gauntlets. Here's the shield. You understand what I'm saying? And here are these regulators. So once you go to Rex shop, you won't hurt yourself in the process of doing it. And you'll take care of everything that needs to be taken care of. And so in that metaphorical aspect, you control that rage, man. Transmutation. We have to play mental, like little psychological games with ourselves in order to get a more optimal outcome. Yeah, my deepest apologies. My phone, let's see, my phone actually died. I didn't realize how low the battery juice was. I was at complete zero. But I know what I was talking about. You know, I was just talking about the energy transmutation. Sometimes we got to play games with ourselves mentally. If you zoom in, we're just composed of atoms. We're a bunch of ones and zeros. We're a bunch of atoms in empty space. And just like a computer can be programmed and reprogrammed and do different things, the same thing can apply to us. We gotta start realizing, like, we got more power than we give ourselves credit. We have a lot more power than we credit ourselves with, you know? And we have to start taking accountability, you know? definitely have to start taking accountability. There's something I wanted to get. I'm trying to think why I came here. Like, I know for certain I wanted cookies. Damn. You know what? When you can't think of what you want when you go in the store and you got the one thing you needed, get out. You know what I do want though, that I have not had in a while? Some sushi. Sushi sounds good for right now. I think I'm gonna have that. This one I'm gonna have. Maybe. Am I gonna get this? Crunchy dragon roll tuna. Or combo. I think I want this combo right here. Yeah. On my Charleston White. Yeah. I'm on that Charleston White right now. Yeah. I'm gonna get that right there. Yeah. Get one of these Deep River potato chips for lunch tomorrow. Nope. Alright, I got what I need. I'm out. Time to bounce. Time to go home. Oh my God. Put a kick in my behind, man. Transmute that energy, man. Stop being a slave to the system. Master it. Be the master. You know what I'm saying? All right.
Thank you for using your Big Y savings card.
All right. Let's go. Yeah, I know my viewers are way down right now. One bag.
Select payment type. Use PIN pad to complete transaction. Thank you for shopping at Big Y.
All right, we out here. On our way to the crib. I'm gonna get home and do some tidying up. Do some more promo for my show next weekend. Gary Alexis at the Elbow Room. April foolishness.eventbrite.com. We got starring Gary Alexis with our feature, Ms. Annie Benani, and special guest comedian Dan Brown. It's gonna be a hell of a show. Last one with JT Moore sold out. Bad, we're already going on 40 minutes right now. Bad, we're already going on 40 minutes right now. Y'all with a joke. I hit you with a new one that I'm working on. I'm gonna do like one or two jokes, then I'm out. I don't think I did too much with politics or religion. I think I just said if those things bother you, just to recap, I said take those emotions that you're feeling and try to funnel it transfer it, change the wind sail to point you in a different direction. The wind is the energy. The emotion is the direction that you choose to go. Yeah. That's pretty much all I said. But I'll run one of my newer jokes. You know what you never see, man? You never see men share ice cream cones. You see men share blunts. Some men even share women. But you will never see two straight dudes enjoying a waffle cone of Ben and Jerry's. I can't stand weed, man, but I love butter pecan. My homeboy always offered me marijuana. He even offered me his lady. But when he was eating that dairy, cold, sweet goodness, this dude didn't even think of giving me none, man. I hate weed, but I love ice cream. I don't know, it's something there. I'm doing it terrible, but that's the whole concept. It's like the different things, like the whole concept of that joke is the different things that men will do that are considered acceptable. The different things that men won't do that isn't considered socially acceptable amongst straight men. But there's other things that they'll do that's like way worse. That is totally okay. Like to me, sharing a woman, like two dudes sharing a woman is way more intimate than us just sharing the ice cream. Now, I'm not saying we gotta eat the ice cream cone at the same time, but there's some dudes that literally they will hook up with a woman. I'm trying to, keep it whatever, but literally at the same time, you got double scoops, a double scoop of ice cream. They having a double sandwich action with the lady at the same time. Now, there's two dudes that would do that. They would literally simultaneously please a lady literally at the same time, centimeters from each other. But they can't even get some good butter pecan. Hey, yo, have some of this. It's delicious. All right, no. Nah, hell no. I'm not gonna eat that, yo. Hell no. You was just, that's your ice cream, B. I'm like, bro. But we just share weed. We just share the blunt. Yo, it's different, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the fire. The fire take away the germs, because it's weed, man. I said, dude, but we just double penetrated your wife. That's different, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we got the sexual chemicals in our brains, so it makes, I don't know. People just the arbitrary things that people do and think people accept. That's just what the concept of the joke is. I'm gonna figure it out. They say men are dogs. Men are always cheating. You are hard pressed to find a man that is faithful with his woman. But every man is faithful to their sports teams. Every man shows solidarity to their football team, their baseball team, their basketball team. I remember I was in this sports group and the NFL season started, and I knew my team was trash. A lot of my teams at the time was trash. I was like, yo, represent your side teams, man. And everybody got mad at me. They started roasting me. Yo, how you gonna represent your side team? You know what I'm saying? That don't make no sense. It's all about you gotta show faithfulness to your team, though. You gotta have respect for your team. I'm like, but didn't you just tell me that you had side pieces? So you mean to tell me you're more faithful to a group of men that don't know you than a woman that bore your children? So ladies, if you want your man to be faithful to you, constantly wear his favorite NFL jersey. He will not. That's that's corny, but there's something there. And it's another day saying men are more faithful to their barbers than they are to their women. If a man's barber is in a coma for 6 months, a man will let his hair grow into dreadlocks for those 6 months. If a man's woman is on her period for one day, and I just stop right there. I stop right there. I'm not going to say what he's going to do. I'm going to let the audience like fill in the blank. I said, a man can find out that his barber is in a coma for 6 months, and that man will let his hair turn into dreadlocks for the duration of that time. But when a man's lady is on her period for one day, yeah, and I just leave it at that. Because I got a bunch of jokes about being faithful and stuff. I'll tell you the joke. I'll tell you the joke. What am I talking about the jokes I have? The whole purpose of the tap-in originally was to practice these jokes. So, listen, man, I've been a man whore pretty much most of my life. I was a professional side dude. But then I finally got tied down. And I love my lady. I adore her. And I would never cheat on her. I would never, ever, ever stray. That's why whenever I watch adult videos, I think about my woman, man. No, that's silly. But anyway, I would never, ever stray. And this is a question I ask a lot of couples, man, especially the couples that have been together for a long time. What are some of the things that you can do to keep those bonds strong? Because we all get temptation. Jesus got tempted. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King got tempted, and he gave it to the temptation. From what we hear, most every man with some type of power or some type of influence done gave into the temptation. So little old me with no power or influence, I'm going to be just as tempted. So what are some of the things that we can do, man, to keep those faithful bonds strong, you know? A lot of us have a work wife or you know what I'm saying? A lot of those fellas, they got the work wife. She being all flirty, you know what I'm saying? She trying to touch you and stuff like that. You want to go back and touch her booty cheeks? Don't do that. Whenever you have the desire to touch her booty cheeks, internalize that. Think about your lady. When you get home, grab your lady's booty cheeks, you know? Or some of you ladies, you know what I mean? You got your work husband, now and again, you flirtatious or whatever like that. And you thinking, you know, you lost a little weight, you want to show them some breasts. And you want to send a picture of your cleavage, you know what I mean? Nah, don't send that to your work husband. Take a picture of your cleavage in the bathroom and send it to your real husband, you know? You got to be creative, man. This brain is a supercomputer, and we can pretty much manifest inside of our mind anything we can visualize. You got to use your imagination. Like the other day, I was making love to my lady. But I was thinking about somebody else. Now, is that faithful? Now, in this instance, a lot of people would say it's not faithful. Why? Because even though my body was in the right place, my mind was not. So let me entertain another scenario. What if by happenstance I should fall into the clutches of temptation and I find myself making love to another woman, making love to another woman, making love to another woman. But I'm thinking about my lady, though. Now, see, shouldn't that be faithful, man? Because even though my body was in the wrong place, my mind was in the right place. Y'all don't buy that? That ain't faithful? My girlfriend don't think that either, man. My lady hates that joke. But she's a licensed carrier. And if it comes into fruition, y'all audience members going to be carrying me in a casket. So we do not want that to happen, man. And I love my lady, man. You know what I'm saying? My lady always cooking with me. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's almost like eating is cheating. I gotta have myself a snack during the tap-in. And once I get to the crib, I get to the door, my lady gonna be like, let me smell your breath. Is that Chick-fil-A on your collar? Like, no. That's booty. No, I'm just playing. Like, you know, I can't license carrier. She's gonna shoot me. There's no way. I'm joking. That's the last cheating joke I'm gonna do, man. My girl, she ain't, you know what? She really ain't good at cooking, though. She really ain't, you know, because she's a powerful attorney. She ain't really develop them skills. My girl got a Costco, you know. She got a Costco membership. You understand what I'm saying? She got the platinum Costco membership. She is revolutionary with the rotisserie. You know what I'm saying? She is a miraculous with the microwave. She's the admiral of the air fryer, man. And I'm happy with that. You know, it's all good. But, you know, when you with somebody for a long time, going on 2 years, you know, you start to learn little things about them. You start to learn their idiosyncrasies. You start to learn their idiosyncrasies, man. And me and my lady was on the verge of breaking up because even though she supports me, she got that Costco membership. You know, my lady's not too skilled in the domestic region. All the years she should have been learning those domestic skills, she was learning how to make money as a lawyer. And we was about to break up because she don't put no fabric softener in the laundry, yo. My clothes be coming out all crunchy and stiff. When I put my work uniform on, I felt like the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz, man. And this is the thing that will make black people extremely furious. She only used one dryer sheet for 2 loads of clothes. One dryer sheet for 2 loads of clothes. Black people use 7 dryer sheets for 1 pair of drawers. 7 dryer sheets for 1 pair of drawers. And she mixed the coloreds with the whites. I said, this is not the dream that Dr. Martin Luther had in mind. When it comes to mixing coloreds and whites, I'm the Grand Wizard of washing. All my t-shirts was pink. So when you look at my underwear drawer, I look like the biggest supporter of breast cancer awareness. But I can't let the fact that she ain't got no culinary skills and no laundry skills leave her, you know what I'm saying, be the reason why I leave her. I gotta stay with her, man. This chick is down with me. Plus my ex broke up with me for the stupidest of reasons. My ex-girlfriend broke up with me because she wanted me to wait 90 days until it was time to do the love thing, and I made it. I made it to the finish line, and when it was time to collect my trophy, when it was time to get my bouquet, she wanted me to use a condom. Ugh. I told her I can't use condoms because it messes with my pH balance. And by pH, I mean penis hardening, because I'm 47 years old. Condom is like cock kryptonite. Whenever I put one on, I feel like a Vietnam veteran with both of his arms blown off from a dirty bomb. I can't salute. My sex soundtrack is... She gave me the dishonorable discharge. So it's a good thing we broke up, because this woman was filthy. She was so disgusting. Whenever she got out of the bathtub, it looked like Saturn, you know, because it got that ring. You understand what I'm saying, man? Her bathroom was like space, Final Frontier. She had Star Wars towels and R2D2 toothpaste. Now, that's not the reason why we broke up. The real reason why we broke up, she's a younger lady, I'm an older man. At the time, I was 42, and she was 29, and I don't have the same drive that I had. I don't have the same drive that I had when I was a young man. When I was a young man, I had the drive like a push-start engine on a 2026 Porsche, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, beating out the cops, breaking the speed limit, risking life and limb, running red lights. Now, 47 years old, my drive is like the crank start engine on a 1920s Model T Ford box car, 0 to 60, never. Full play for me now is like this. Turn on the radio. I like the fact that how I'm doing that joke, pretending like I'm driving, but I got a steering wheel right in front of me. But you know, you got to do the movie style steering wheel motion, not like real life steering wheel motion. Like real life steering wheel motion is boring. It's just like this. I got to do the damn. I gotta start this old ass car up again, man. This is ridiculous, man. Need me some Viagra. He's in the army now. Yeah, the army. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy from Company B. That's my sex soundtrack. Because I'm 47 years old and I'm happy. Because a lot of times black people don't be living that long, especially black males. Between diabetes, police brutality, child support, and the COVID vaccine, we are an endangered species. And as you get older, your priorities start to change. When I was young, I used to want to get some sex. Now that I'm older, I just want to get some sleep, man. I don't need pussy, I need pillows. I don't need the booty, I need the blankets. I don't need titties, I need Tempur-Pedic. Your sex goals change when you get older. When you're young, it's all about the orgasm. When you're a man over 40, peeing after the orgasm feels better than the orgasm. Because nowadays, when I get lucky and have sex with a woman, I'm like, ooh, ah, baby, that was good. Make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with the crust cut off. Now, at 47 years old, no. See, I messed up. I was about, because the rhythm of that joke is very similar to the joke about the Model T4 car. It's very, the rhythm is very similar. And if I'm in a groove, there's a chance I might almost repeat a joke. And this is the second time I did this. So maybe I need to change the cadence of this joke up, make it a little bit different than the cadence of that other joke, because the rhythm and the sound and the music of those jokes sound exactly the same. So I was like, ooh, ah, baby, that's good. Make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with the crusts cut off. But when I pee after, I'm like, ah! I'm like, baby, could you do that thing that made me tinkle after I came? It feels so wonderful. I need a cigarette and I don't even smoke. Newport Box 100s. You get the weirdest of injuries too. Like a couple weeks ago, I tore my ACL playing basketball in my dreams. I hit the game winning shot, Edwards. Now, I gotta take ice baths instead of bubble baths, using Bengay like it's lotion. Going on my date smelling like a hospital bed, hospitally fresh. When I realized I was getting old, when I realized I really do enjoy the taste of a pastrami Reuben. And for those that don't know, that's an old school sandwich with old school ingredients. It comes with Swiss cheese, Thousand Island, sauerkraut. That's convalescent cuisine. I have it every Thursday at 4 p.m. with a tapioca pudding and a yoo-hoo while watching the Golden Girls. I think Blanche is beautiful. And if they could bring her back to life, I would make her my boo-boo. Because Blanche got that boom, 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 boom. Thank you for being. Blanche was beautiful, man. She the reason why I love older women. I'm not talking 10 years older. I'm talking AARP. Because you see, older ladies, they don't play no games. They iron your suit, read you a bedtime story, give you some of them soft, warm oatmeal raisin cookies. You ain't never had cookies until you had grandma's soft, warm oatmeal raisin cookies. O&B lady so old, if I get her pregnant by accident, she will give birth to a college graduate. That baby go from maternity to fraternity immediately. Zuma cum baby. Now, I got a lady, you know, she's 47, I'm 47. She can still have children. I think I probably could still have kids, but you know, you can't mix old eggs with old sperm. You're gonna get elderly children, you know what I'm saying? If I get my lady pregnant, the baby gonna come out crying like Joe Biden. I need some milk. Let me sniff your hair. It calms down my anxiety. If I get my girl pregnant and it's born, the baby gonna be born, come out with a full head of hair, with the whole front missing, talking like Morgan Freeman. And I was in the womb for 9 long months. Somebody touched my head with the forceps and pulled me to the bright, cool world. Hey, that's all I'm going to give y'all. This has been about 56 minutes. I apologize for the outage in between. Like I said, again, I got a comedy show next week at the Elbow Room in West Hartford, Connecticut. Hey, we got to... yeah, I had to take that live. I had to take that call live. I'm probably going to edit that out later on, but literally nobody is watching. Comedy show next week, the Elbow Room, Saturday the 28th. April Foolishness.eventbrite.com. You don't want to miss it. Starring Gary Alexis, featuring Annie Banani and special guest comedian Dan Brown and myself, Mo Green, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this going on 13 years. You know, I got a little something to say. I got a little skills, a little comedy I've been working on. I've raised a few of these comics out here, you know, whether they want to admit it or not. You know, I've helped folks out. You know, listen, as long as my contributions contribute to some positive individuals making positive strides in the industry, you know what I'm saying? Whether I get recognition or not, there's no denying the history and the person that helped put the spark in a lot of these individuals out here. So it's all good, baby. As I say to all up-and-coming comedians, there is no such thing as writer's block. If the comedy guys are not giving you anything new to write, that is the comedy guys' way of telling you to work on and perfect the things that they already gave you. Stay away from negativity, stay away from the nonsense, stay away from the foolishness. Focus on the funny, lead with love. I holla at y'all. Deuces.